Hey guys, how you doing? So, it's Computer6551 here, aka The Wrath. And today I'm going to be reacting to Storybooth animations, real stories animated. Okay? And the first one we're going to be reacting to is I Don't Feel Safe at Home or at School. Alright, here we go.
Trying and pushing myself to be out there and be more confident. And to a point where somebody actually ended up approaching me and started talking to me. And this was the first proper friend I ever had. He introduced me to more people and I ended up getting more and more friends and becoming quote-unquote a popular kid. And people actually started to like me and I felt so much more confident about myself and happy. And things started to go well in my life. The stuff at home and things started to get better. Been getting along better with my brother and my sister. My mum has been treating me more evenly and exactly the same as the others. I felt like I was part of the family again. I just kept staying strong in the inside and I didn't let all this completely take me down. Although at times I felt so defenseless and worthless, I was able to push myself to a point where I was able to get myself out there and be myself. And where I am today is very confident. I'm happy with myself and I'm happy with who I am.
Alright, so I hope you learned. I hope you learned something about this. That don't judge a book by its cover, or just don't judge people at all. Alright, and I don't want to be like this, so I just gotta skip the ad real quick. Alright, sorry guys. I just don't want to be like. And sorry guys if there was like a loud noise. Cleaning up in the house. Just stuff. Next one we're gonna be
For 7 years of my life, I grew up in the foster system. I had to leave my mom's house because of the decisions she made to stop being there for her children. At the time, it was just me, an 8-year-old girl, and my brother, an 11-year-old severely autistic boy. One day, the police showed up at our house. They asked me a lot of questions and then told us I would be staying at my aunt's house with her 3 kids, and my brother would go to a home to support his needs. I stayed with my aunt and her cousins for a year and a half until one day my aunt told me to pack some clothes. I thought I was going to spend some time with my other aunt and cousins, so happily I went to pack some clothes, but once I was done, I went to the front room and my aunt told me and my cousin I was going away for some time. I didn't know what that meant, but we all cried. And my caseworker showed up. My caseworker didn't tell me too much on our car ride there, but for the most of the ride, I cried. Once we got there, I was created by someone I would soon look up to as a sister, and by more people I would soon consider my family. I lived there for 2.5 years. I wanted that to be my forever home, my forever family. But I found out my biological mom had another baby. He was only 5 months old, and the state wanted us to be together forever. I moved in with him and his foster family. I watched him grow up, cry, fuss, change his diapers. I never thought I'd have a little brother, but there he was right before my eyes. I thought that was it for our foster placements, but I was wrong. Something didn't work in that home, and we were moved after 1.5 years of staying there. Now, we were with our very first white foster parent, a single mother with 3 cute but crazy kids. To say the least on that home, it didn't work, and we left. On my last day of school, we were taken to our next foster home. And our last one, thank you, Jesus. Another white family with 4 kids, a boy in the 11th grade, a girl going on 9th grade, another girl in the 7th grade, and another boy in like the 5th grade. And of course, 2 parents, a mom and a dad, and 2 lovely black dogs. Those people showed me and my brother so much love and care, even after our hearts were broken by so many people, so many different times. I never had a father figure in my life, so when I got to this one, I didn't really know how it felt to have a father at all. December 31st, 2014, we were adopted by these people. Being here for 2 years now, I've received lots of love and crazy rules and groundings. I'm blessed to have a place to finally call home.
Oh my god, we totally jumped off the cliff, had to swim all the way ashore.
Alright, so the next one we're going to be reacting to is Roller Coaster Ride of Shame. Alright.
This is autogravity. It lets you have
There
fun. You can get up to 400.
we go.
When I was about 9 years old, I went to this summer day camp with my older sister and some friends, and this camp was really fun. It would take us on field trips like to the beach, mini golf, and roller skating. But this particular time, we went to Six Flags, and I don't even like roller coasters, so this field trip was already a no for me. But when we first got there, it was really, really hot, and I bought a huge lemonade all for myself to try to cool down. So I'm sitting next to the lemonade stand, minding my business, and then everyone came up to me and they were forcing me to go on this huge roller coaster with them. I tried to be brave for once, so I went with the group to stand in this long line, but I had my lemonade, so it was all okay. About 20 minutes later, we got to the front of the line, and it was time for us to get on the actual ride. On the inside, I was dying because, like I said, I hate roller coasters, and when I get nervous, I have to pee, but there was nothing I could do at this point except get on the ride. So we're on this ride, and the ride starts going up, 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 and I felt like I was on top of the world. And when we got to the tippy top, the feeling of butterflies got in my stomach, and I started freaking out at this point, and I was screaming and crying. And the guy next to me that went to my camp, he was actually really cute. He was looking at me like I was crazy. But, you know, I wasn't just screaming and crying. I also did something so disgusting. I peed myself on the roller coaster at Six Flags. And I just had to sit there while the ride was going. And when the ride was over and we had to get off, I didn't move. I sat there like an idiot. And I started to cry even more. And then I got up and people started realizing that I peed myself because you could see it on the front of my pants. And instead of my sister comforting me, she started laughing at me, and other kids from my camp were just like looking at me and talking to each other. And it was so embarrassing. They had to stop the ride to clean it up. And on the announcements, they were like, we have a little accident, so can someone please clean it up? And it was so embarrassing. Luckily, a really nice counselor from my camp helped me and even bought me new pants, which was kind of cool. But to this day, I still remember everything that happened, and I still hate roller coasters.
totally jump out the cliff and had to zoom all the way to shore because the dog chased us all over the
The next one we're going to react to is my celebrated prom date.
Did you know that the wrong mattress protector can ruin the feeling?
Alright.
So this was my senior year of high school and prom was coming up. I didn't really want to go, but I knew if I didn't, I would probably regret it. So I decided to sign up and go. I didn't really want to ask a guy to prom because I was scared that they would say no and I would be embarrassed. I wanted a guy to ask me. So I waited and waited and waited.